What's good? What's good? What's good? I'm gonna be 100% honest. I had made a video yesterday. It was an hour. It was an hour and 7 minutes. It was basically just updating y'all on everything, on like what's going on, and just in general. Just because obviously, I haven't made a video in a month. It doesn't feel like it's been a month, but it's more or less just explaining like what's going on. For some reason, it did not upload. For some reason, I'm not sure why, but it just didn't, and I'm not sure. I'm not totally sold on the why it did, but it did for some reason. But yeah, I decided to make another one just because I needed to make another one because some information has changed since yesterday. So obviously I'm gonna get into. Obviously I'm gonna get into the. I'm gonna say the same thing I said before, but obviously at the end, obviously I'm gonna add the other, basically the update to the update, basically speaking. But stuff has been good. Well, yeah, as good as you could imagine. Uh, I'm leaving. Apologies, but I'm leaving the military tomorrow. Just simply wasn't for me. If I'm being honest. If anything, I have a few choices that I might do. I'm not sure if what I want to do. If I'm being honest, I'm gonna take like a week or two to kind of just you know step back and just kind of you know see what kind of just step back and just see what it is that just kind of see what is going on but yeah, I could join I can join a different branch if I wanted to. I could join the post office if I wanted to. There's a lot of different things I could go and do basically. Just because it wasn't like I got like it was something bad or anything. So it is what it is. But I'm also talking to another woman that's going through. She's going through. She's going through some stuff, but she's going through stuff. But when it comes to the woman I'm talking to, she had messaged me. She had messaged me like early in the morning, I guess not early in the morning. She messaged me at like what time was it? 7. Yeah, like 7. Basically, and I'm not gonna be naming names just because privacy or whatnot, just because obviously. But apparently her and her because she was in the process of getting a divorce and everything, and then she had messaged me. She'd messaged me saying that her and her husband are they talked and they were figuring things out. I don't. The only thing that comes to mind is obviously like they're like basically talking to um basically talking to fix things. Obviously, at least that's my only guess. At least that's my only guess I would think of for why she would be telling me about it. Just simply because I was talking to her about different stuff, whatnot. Obviously, feels weird because I feel like what's happening is like he's lying to her about something. Cause you know how it is. You know how it is. Cause and everything I'm saying, or everything I'm about to be saying, is from her. So it's not from some third party. It's not from some, it's not something It's not from some rumor or whatever the case may be. This is stuff that she has said. Obviously, I don't know all of the details, but this is straight from her. But apparently he was abusive. He apparently when she was she had like she had a very hard time trying to get him to sign divorce papers or sign the divorce papers because it was more of a like a mental thing. That's all I know. Are those basically those two things? Because those are the things I heard her talk about. So obviously, I don't know everything, but it's the fact that like I've dealt with that before. It's more of like a, it's more of a like um like a mental thing. It's the reason why I'm. It's the reason why I might be a. The reason why I might be a neurologist. A neurologist, a therapist, either one. I don't really know which one that I wanted to do, but it was the fact that I've dealt with so much. I've dealt with something like this before. I've dealt with a bunch of these. I've always been like the third party that kind of just like brings stuff together, but it's the fact that when she told me, I don't know, is the fact that did I want to like pursue her romantically? Yes, obviously, but it's the fact that like I can't really say like anything about it just because I don't know the full extent. The only thing I know is what she has told me. So, there's not much to really work on. Maybe at some point, like I'll message her, and then, she'll, call me one day, or we'll hang out and talk about it, or whatever, whatever the case may be. But it's it's the fact of like, I don't know. It's weird, if I'm being honest. But it's the fact that I know, just from experience, that I'm sure that he said he was gonna do this, or he promised this, or he just basically, lying to her to basically make it seem like, oh, he's changed person, he's this, he's that. But really, in reality, it's not that. He just doesn't want. He's just basically doing everything he can to do so that she doesn't leave, so she doesn't leave him and everything, which it sucks, if I'm being honest, just because she is she's a very sweet person. She is very nice and everything. But if I'm being honest, she probably had. If I had to guess, most of the time, when it comes to like when people are going through abuse and they still stay, it's more of the fact that like they don't either A, they generally believe and trust what their like abuser is like saying, because like they make it seem like genuine even though it's not really genuine. Obviously, these things, he could generally be genuine, if I'm being honest. I don't know. I have no idea. I've never met the dude. The only thing I know is he's like around my height, but apparently apparently he's a nutcase, apparently. But I guess he wasn't now, or he said he's gonna get therapy or whatever the case may be, because apparently because she had said that her and him like talked and they're figuring things out and everything. So I was just like, oh, okay. Because I'm not a person that like, what you call it. But I'm not alone in the sense, because it's like I said, did I want to pursue her romantically? Yeah. But it's the fact that that wasn't the only reason. I didn't want to be like that only reason. Because she messaged me about it, and I was I was mature. I was respectful about the whole thing. But it's just, I don't know. It was just strange, just because it's like I get a bad feeling that she's got lied to about something, or like he's trying to basically, what you call it, he's trying to basically like make a case so then she looks bad or something, because it's one of the few things, because I'm sure with like everything, like I'm sure with the divorce now, I'm assuming that he probably did everything in the book so that she wouldn't go through with the divorce, just because he was more in the wrong. I want to say they're both in the military. I think. I know she is. I'm not too sure if he is. I do not know. But it is what it is at the end of the day. I typed a couple of things. I said apologies, had to take a call that lasted longer than expected. But anyways, you tell me just like that because she didn't know she had said she didn't know. She said that figuring things out, and she didn't know like how to tell me, and I was just like, tell me just like that. Cause she doesn't like to text. She doesn't like to. No, not that she doesn't like to text, but it's the fact that she doesn't know what to say when she texts somebody because of like tone and she doesn't know how like people are going to like if they're going to see it how how she wants them to see it. But it's the fact that she was straightforward and honest, and I basically told her like, you know, I basically told her you got it. Being honest and straightforward is really all it takes to mess with someone. It really is. As long as you're honest and you're straightforward, you're good. Because I feel like most people like when it comes with the tone, it's like the fact that they're trying to beat around the bush. But she's very straightforward about everything. So this is basically the reason I wanted to get to know her better and eventually court her and everything. But I said, I'm curious. I'm just curious though about how that came to be, especially from what you had said at the beach. I said it's good y'all are working things out though. To me, anything can be fixed as long as no major line was crossed and both parties actually want to fix it, and it looks like you both do. As for the lines that may be crossed, I put up a shrug emoji just because I don't know what if any lines were crossed. I don't know if any were actually crossed, but I gave her my opinion. I said personally, based on what you said, but basically on what you had said before, I don't think it's the best idea, but that's just my opinion. Just because it is like her choice is her choice. My opinion, my suggestion or opinion is just like, just me looking in basically. So it's just like I don't know. Cause I don't know. You do a lot of I'm not gonna say crazy stuff, but you do most. I don't know. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't the same way in the sense of like when someone is telling you this, you're blind about seeing it because you're with them for so long. But it's the fact that I can understand her whole thing because her and her husband have been together since they were in high school, so they're high school sweethearts and everything. So I can understand that if I'm being genuinely honest. I can understand. At least I don't. Have they been together for that long, have they? Do they know each other in high school? I have no idea. I think they were dating even in high school. I think. I'm not sure. I have no idea, but yeah, I told her it's not the best idea, but that's just my opinion. I said, as for me, I still feel the same way about. I still feel the same way about her, which I'm sure she already knows, and for a number of reasons. I have a Word document basically where I typed everything, so why it is that I'm interested in her and everything. I kind of didn't put like the basic stuff like, oh, you're pretty, this, that, and the other, just because those are used so often that it just becomes just lame. If I'm being 100% honest, it just gets lame, just because it's like, yeah, that's what everyone says, obviously. I got the little things like her straightforwardness, her honesty, her music taste, the fact that she watches anime and plays video games, her fashion. My other video had like more. I went in more like it went in a little bit more detail, but just kind of just going through the whole thing. Well, at least going through the whole thing again, just because I don't know why it didn't I don't know why it didn't go through. It's weird. It's very weird. I don't necessarily know why it didn't do what it was supposed to do. But yeah, that was that. Let me see. What else I got? Yeah, for a number of reasons, of course. I shared those with you another time. I said, that said, I completely understand your choice. I still like to build a friendship with you if your dynamic with him allows for it. I don't want to overstep, but I also don't want to seem like the only reason I ever cared was for something romantic. You're still an amazing person, I know, and I value that, and would like to build more on it if possible. I thanked her for being honest with me, and told her that I appreciate that because I did, Because the fact that she could have just, continued to like not really say, because she didn't really say anything before, just because she was going through the whole divorce thing. But if I'm being honest, she was very stressed because she has like a bunch of things to do and everything. So I can only imagine he used that to his advantage, which is crazy. Not even crazy. It's just the shit people do is insane. But it is what it is. At the end of the day. And then I had mentioned something else because I forgot to add some stuff, and I still forgot to add some stuff. But I forgot to say, if your dynamic doesn't allow for male friends, that's perfectly fine. Every relationship or marriage is different. Just don't forget, if you ever need anything, and I mean anything, shoot me a text or call my line, yeah, or a call. My line will always be open to you or for you. Since I know about your kind and friendly nature, you probably feel bad for some reason. Please don't. Life happens and plans change, and it's all good. I don't feel any type of way towards you. I know you had no ill intentions, and I'm mature enough to understand that. She didn't really say anything back. She just she hearted the messages, and then that was it. So, it is what it is. If I'm being honest, but yeah, she, like I said in that not the post, but in the message I sent, she is very good. She is very kind. She is nice. She's very sweet and everything. So I can only imagine the thing I could think of was like she believed that she was like wasting my time and whatnot, which she wasn't. I'm not looking to get into a super I'm not looking to get into like a relationship. You know, like at the beginning it was more or less just getting to know her. Hanging out with her, taking her out on dates and whatnot. Just kind of just getting to know her better than I do. But like I know her, but I don't know like a lot about her now. Obviously, at least not as much as you would like to know. But if I'm being honest, like I'll definitely wait just because she's probably gonna be the last. She'll probably be the last person I end up with, most likely. But who knows? That might not happen. I might find something else. I don't know. I don't know. I'll definitely keep her in the loop. So I can only imagine, like, later down the line, if she does end up getting a divorce, I'm sure she probably won't message me, like, about it, saying that she's single or whatever the case may be, just because she probably would think that, oh, I'm, taken or this, that, and the other, which, makes sense, but it's, like, it's false, obviously, because obviously I'm not going to be actively looking for anyone at this current time. But yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mentioned talking about her yesterday, and it was just like, oh, this, that, and the other. But it was, I don't know. It was funny because like the timing of that is crazy. I went on talking about her yesterday, and then today I got that message, which is strange. A lot of coincidences, if I'm being honest. Like that's such a big coincidence. It's crazy. At least it's a coincidence to me, if I'm being genuinely honest. It's a very big coincidence to me. Just because it's just like, damn, what are the chances of that? Like what are the chances of that? Like what? But like I said, at the end of the day, her choice is her choice. I had messaged a friend of hers, basically talking about it, basically saying like how I think it's a fucking horrible idea, how I've had experience in this, if not like being in a relationship myself when it happens, or looking like having seeing other people's relationships. So, but it's the fact that I don't know much. It's just more of the what she had said previously. So I don't know what he had said. He could have been genuine about it. I don't know. But it's just I don't know. It seems off. At least something seems off, if I'm being honest. And she had said, well, her friend had said basically the same thing. How she's you know, because she was surprised about it. 'Cause I told her about it and then explained everything, and she was like, "Oh wow, I was not expecting that," because I don't think she wasn't expecting it either, which makes sense. But it's like it's more the fact that, oh, was I so like, should I have told her friend about it? Probably not. But I wanted her friend to know like why I was not saying, but like why I was like not irritated. I don't even know what I was. I don't even know. I don't even know what I am now. I'm just kind of here. Like, I'm not mad or irritated or anything. I'm just like, it's more or less just like, because I want to say I told her friend the same thing. I'm just like, even if like stuff with her didn't go well, I still wanted to. I still wanted to be friends with her because she still is like, a sweet person, you know. But yeah, she said she felt the same, and everything. Cause I had messaged her friend about it, and I wanted her to be like fully, like to be full transparent, full transparency, basically. Basically, another word just meaning like be like completely honest. Because I'm more of a person of like, when I see certain things, I want to like have that person see what it is that I see. But I'm kind of going a different way or a different route than that, if I'm being honest. Just because obviously I'm not a person to whisper poison in her ear or bring up the stuff that she had said before previously. Just because at the end of the day, her choice is her choice. And her friend had said like she's an adult, she can make her own decisions and whatnot, which makes sense. But it sucks because I see it so often. Or not even often, but some people like will message me about like their situation, like in their relationship and everything, and it sucks to basically, like, it sucks to see it, and then it's like if you say something, then you're given like the same responses, like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, or oh, that it's different, they're different, like I said, you don't know what you're talking about, or just the same crap that everyone says. But it sucks to, if you do say something that's your response that you get, and it's just like, oh, well, okay, and then shit hits the fan, and you're having to comfort them because they didn't listen to what you had said. It sucks if I'm being honest. It really sucks. Just because, like I said, she is a good person in the sense. It sucks to see, but yeah, I sent her friend like everything that I had sent her that morning, because it wasn't a morning, it was like 7 in the morning. But yeah, her friend had said like, yeah, it was good, it was mature, respectful, at least in her opinion. So I can only imagine it was the same. And I have no idea. I don't know. I have no idea how she took it, but yeah, she said I was glad that I took it that way and didn't take it wrong. I don't necessarily know how I could have taken it wrong, if I'm being genuinely honest. It was me personally. I don't know how I could have taken it wrong. He said it was a hard pill to swallow and everything. But being adult is a good thing about it. Yeah, I even told her, I was like, "What do you mean? Like, what is it? I don't know how I could have taken it wrong at the end." Because I said, of course, I don't know how I could have I don't know how I could. I don't know how I could take it wrong. At the end of the day, her choice is hers alone. Just because I have an opinion doesn't mean it's law. I said the pill isn't that hard to swallow. I'm not even mad at that. It's stuff with her. With it's. I'm not mad at that. If stuff with her didn't work, if stuff with her didn't work out, I'd still want to be friends. Like I said to her, she's still a good person, but that's just it. I feel like he lied to her, so she stays with him. I've seen it happen before, but I can't say anything because obviously I don't know the big picture. But don't something don't feel right. But how would I tell her that without sounding rude? I'm not the kind of person to whisper poison in ears or none of that BS that people do. It's not me, but there's nothing I can say without looking like I don't care. Just because from where I'm at, I look like someone trying to rush her into me and not be supportive. I don't know the situation or anything, just the stuff I already know. But but I'm get a bad feeling. But how do I say something without looking like a scumbag? If I should, then she's just gonna get hurt even more down the line. But I don't know. I could be in my own head. What don't I say? Oh, that's supposed to say. What do you think? It autocorrected to don't. What do you think? I'll say. What do you think for transparency? She said that she felt the same way. She talked to her multiple times and gave her her opinion and explained how things look from the outside looking in. And then she had said that at the end of the day, she's an adult and she doesn't have to listen to us. She makes her own decisions, and whether we think they're good or bad, we just have to support her and show her love. If we do the opposite, it'll just push her away, which she's not wrong. You know, she said that's her thought process when it comes to this. She's her best friend and she wants the best for her, but she can only give her suggestions. That's what I've been doing, and that's what I'll continue to do because that's what friends do. We support each other no matter what, even if the other person doesn't see the things we see. I said you're absolutely right. It just sucks to see a friend not see what everyone else sees, but also not be able to say anything or you get hit with the usual responses. It just bums me out because she's such a sweet person. I'm glad that I'm not alone in this. You're 100% right. All we can do is give suggestions. It's up to the person if they want to use said suggestions. And if we were right on what we feel, we pick them up when they fall, basically. So, I don't know. I still don't fully know. Apologies for that. But I still don't really know what to really, not even feel, but it's just, I don't know. It's strange to say the least, just because it's like, if anything, I wish her the best, obviously. But, it's just, but, I wish her the best and everything. I don't know if, I don't know what is to conspire. I can imagine, everything's gonna be good. At least I would assume so. At least I'd hope so. Just because obviously. But, I don't know. There's, like, just the chances of that is, I don't know. It's crazy to think. It's just crazy to think that was, I made that video that day, or like yesterday. Obviously it didn't go through, but at the same time, it's still what you call it. It's still it's still on what you call it. It's still, and then what was said after the fact. So that's, to me, that's crazy in a sense, because it's just like, damn. But what can be done? It's pretty much nothing that can be done, if I'm being honest, just because, like what you call it said, like there's nothing that can really be done about everything, just because it's already, like she's an adult, obviously. Suggestions are pretty much all we can really do or give her. But I'm hoping I'm wrong. I really am. I really am hoping that I am wrong about everything. But at least I hope I'm wrong, because man, I do not want to be right in this sense, just because, like I said, she's a good person and everything, and I want her to be in a good relationship. But it's definitely hard to kind of just see what someone's intentions are. But it is what it is. But who knows? But yeah, there was that. There was that, and yeah, that's basically the only thing that really changed as of yesterday, with me making that video yesterday. Like nothing else really changed. It was just that. Like I'm still leaving tomorrow and everything. So there's that. I'm probably gonna give it, a little time before I actually look for something else to do. Just because I have to, anyways. I have to, I have to put stuff in boxes. Cause everything's in bags now, but I don't want the bags to break. So, it's there's a bunch of bags, but there's not much stuff in it. Just because I didn't want them to tear with like max capacity of shit. So there's that. But but as for everything else, pretty much nothing else is really, conspired. Yeah, conspired. Let's go with that. Why not? But obviously, I'll still stay in touch with her. I'll still tell her, have a good weekend, have a good week, the usual, the usual shit. Or at least until she says, because obviously I don't want to do what I did last time. Because last time she said that she was married, I just completely just was like, okay, and then just never talked to her again. Basically, like I talked to her, but it was only like in passing, which wasn't that much. But like I had her number, but didn't really do much else. If I'm being honest, I wasn't really that mature back then. Even now, even now it depends on who you ask. If I'm being honest, how mature I am. If I'm being real, but I definitely want to, stay in touch with her and everything. Yeah, I just wanted to, what you call it. But I don't want to go a different route than what I did before. Apologies. Well, it's not even apologies for y'all, but if I could just continue talking like nothing happened. But yeah, had to go to the bathroom real fast. But what was I talking about? I don't even remember. I don't even remember what I was talking about. But yeah, just everything with her and her husband. I don't know. Something seems fishy, but I can't say anything about it. The only thing I can do is basically just tell her that I'm here if she needs me, basically. So there's that. Yeah, I wish nothing but the best for her. Yeah. I'm sure at some point, I don't know, maybe like next month or something, I'll check. Because, like, obviously I'm going to check in on her. Obviously, I'll tell her, have a good weekend, have a good week, shit like that, obviously. But, like, as of, like, actually being like, oh, how's everything going? How is, working here? How's the event? How's this? How's that? Obviously, it's not going to be every day. But, maybe, once every month, just kind of be like, hey, any news? Like, anything crazy happen? Just to kind of continue to stay in the loop. Well, no, who knows? She probably would never do that. I don't know. But yeah, I don't even know. It's crazy because it was just, I don't know. It was out of nowhere too. That's the thing that's crazy to me. It was just completely out of left field. You know, just completely out of just left field, just out of random. It just like, oh, me and my husband are, talking. We go, but I do find it funny. Well, not even funny, but I find it interesting because it's like, it's the fact that she said that her and him talked. That was it. It wasn't like, oh, we're talking. It was just like, oh, we talked. It's like, what? So you had a conversation and that was it? Like, what do you mean you talked and that was it? Most people, I feel like, would say that they're talking to their person, like talking to someone, usually. But I don't know. If anything, I'm more or less curious on like what was said. Cause I can imagine something was said, obviously. Something was definitely said on, something was definitely said for like, oh, this or that or whatever the case may be. But it is what it is. It is what it is. But who knows? The only thing I can do is just keep doing what I'm doing. Yeah, just be consistent. Basically, just be consistent until she basically tells me to stop, basically speaking. And I'm not gonna do like the same shit I was talking about. I'm not gonna just completely stop talking to her. I'm not certain on like I'm not sure on her dynamic with her husband. Like everyone's dynamic is different, obviously. So, but I don't know. It's something to say the least. I don't know. You never know. But yeah, I'd rather that than anything. It's funny because she liked it. I don't know. She hearted it and that was it. But I don't know. I don't know. Something seems off. I don't know. Something doesn't seem right. I don't know why. I have no fucking idea. Like just the switch is very. Goodness. The switch is very interesting to say the least. Just cause, why? Something's something's not right. But like I said, and shit I can do about it. Literally. But I'm sure at some point she'll fucking find it. Fucking find it. I don't know. She'll do something. I'm sure. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's not even funny. It's just strange to say the least. But yeah. Damn. But yeah, it's not much else really. It's just kind of that was kind of the only like update for like my other the other video that I made that I never really what you call it, because I was gonna make another video because that one was updated or not updated, but when that one was like posted, but it never did. So I was like, you know what? Let me just make another one, kind of explaining everything else. Nothing else was really explained, if I'm being honest. It's more or less just the same old, really. But yeah, we'll be taking some time to kind of just figure out what it is I want to do and everything. I don't know if I want to go. If I want to go to. If I want to go to the Navy, or if I'm being 100% honest, I most likely would just go to the post office. If I'm being honest, just simply because that's just a regular like 9 to 5. If I'm being honest, just because I really don't have to do the whole. If for me, it's more like I don't want to be on a boat for 6 months. I really don't. Like I don't. I really fucking don't. Like I cannot stress that enough. I generally don't want to be on a boat for 6 months or however long you're on a boat for. I really don't want to be on that shit for that long. Literally, like I'm good. Literally, I am fucking good when it comes to that. I'm not a fan. But you know, I'm sure. I'm sure something will conspire. If anything, um, like I said before, like I'll wait for her, obviously. Just just because, and it's funny because I wanted to tell her that and her friend that, but I was just like, I don't know how to really word it without sounding strange. If I'm being honest, you know what I mean? I don't know. That sounds weird, at least to me. At least I don't know how I would go about wording it. I think that's the thing. I don't know how to word that. But I'm not looking for like a relationship. Like I'm looking for a relationship, obviously, but I'm not looking for like. I'm not trying to like. I'm more just taking it slow. If I'm being honest. But like y'all know how well, if you've been in my lives, then you know like how I do. Like it took me 7 months to get over what you call it. Cause I waited for my ex fiance for 7 months and all that jazz. So because the fact that I see potential in her. So I hope that her current her husband gets his shit together, because he has a good woman. He really does. Like he really does. Like he has a good woman. So I hope he understands that. I really do. I really do hope that he gets it, understands it, doesn't take her for granted, just because you know it'd be the worst. It'd be the worst mistake of his life. But at the same time, it's just I don't know. I don't know. If anything, I feel like she's more like. I feel like she's more like what you call it? Oh, I don't even know I don't even know what do you even say. I don't know. I feel like something else. I feel like not something else. You know what I mean? I don't know. Probably not. But it's just I feel there's a reason for why she's overlooking everything. Because at least my thing was more of like him being abusive type of thing. But like I don't know what that really means. So I'm thinking it is more verbal abusive. It's more verbal, if I'm being genuine, because she didn't have any marks on her. At least none that were like seen, if I'm being honest. At least none that I saw. It's not that I think of it. It's not that I think of it, because I don't, yeah. Now that I think about it, yeah, I didn't see any, like, marks on her. What's it, either A, she's just weak as shit, or B, it was more like it was more verbal. It was more like yelling and screaming at her, or them screaming at each other, or whatever the case may be. I thought that was probably more abusive side of it. But then again, I didn't pry or, ask about that, because why would you? why would you, I'm not her parent, so I don't need to ask those things. It's crazy, because I think that was more like a test, if I'm being honest. I don't know. I've been tested so many times, so I think everything's a goddamn test. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna keep it real. I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it transparent. Literally, I've been through so many tests that it's just like, oh, is this a test? Like, to see how I'd react about this or that, because I don't know. I have no clue. But, there's nothing that can be done. There's nothing that I can think of. Because it turns into one of those things where it's just like, what do you do? Generally, what do you do? What can you do? Like, there's nothing that you can really do about anything, really. Because it's funny, because even if it is a test, it's just like, the way, like, from my point of view, it's not even from my point of view, but from like where I'm at, or like where I stand, it doesn't look good. If I were to say something, it doesn't look good, like, at all. Like, it doesn't. But, hope everything goes well. And I'm still keeping track of, stuff that she would want to do. Just in case, it's something that, I don't know, she'd want to do, or she'd want to experience, or whatever the case may be. Just because, obviously. But, so what the fuck? Yeah, I find stuff that she likes on Instagram because it just pops up on my feed from time to time. Or stuff she's reposted on what's that shit called? TikTok. And I'll usually save it if it's like something that's like, oh, this is a place, or yeah, she's just some shit she reposted. This is the shit I was looking for. I don't even know what to even say about that shit. That's just like, what the fuck? Sure. But yeah, I hope that, she, what the fuck? It changed the way it looks now? Is that actually how it looks now? Oh, it is, wow. Timeline view? That's very interesting. Yeah. That's cool. I didn't know that. I'm out here learning new stuff. But, anyways, yeah, it's just that whole thing. Sometimes you have like a, oh my god, what I'm trying to say. Like, there'll be like a food place, or I want to say there's like one on Instagram that was like trash bag, not waving, or trash bag like skiing rope. It's basically when you just basically put soap. You basically wear a trash bag and you slide down a fucking hill. Basically, something. It sounds fun, man. I'll hold you, but yeah, you got shit like that. Food, stuff like that. I keep track of it. I have my own, like, what you call it? I have my own, fuck, what is this shit called? I have my own, like, I have my own, like, saved list. Of just, like, I want to on Instagram. It might be on Instagram. I don't know. Let me see. One on TikTok is just called Anew, and then the one on Instagram is things she would like, do, try, or want, and it's just like a bunch of different things. Just because I don't know what she likes certain things, and it's like I don't know what this would be a want or a try or a do. So I was like, I keep adding like different ones. Like before it was just like like and do, and then there was just like there were a bunch of food ones. I was like, okay. And then some of them are like animal, like snakes and whatnot. I was like, like what? I guess I have no idea. So from time to time I'll add another one, just depending on the thing itself. Just because I don't know. Yeah. It is. It is. I'm happy. I'm happy. I'm happy she's happy. I probably should have asked her that yesterday. But then again, I'll probably ask her about it. What you call it? Probably ask her about it. Not even ask her about it, but I'll probably mention it sometime. Cause hey, as long as she's happy, whatever, you know. You know, as long as she's happy, whatever. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. At least that's all that matters to me. As long as she's good, it's what it is. Cause it'd be different if she wasn't. But you, the little things. I still have to fix. I still have to finish the Word document that I'm been working on. Like obviously I'm still gonna do that just because it's already made. So like why not finish it? It's just gonna stay here the whole time anyways. But why not finish it at least? Just because obviously. But yeah, the reasons I got are straightforwardness, laugh, song taste, honesty, talkative nature, anime, video games, and fashion. Yeah, I'm still gonna but yeah, I'm still gonna finish it just because why would I not? You know, seems dumb to not finish it, you know. Just 'cause it's already made, so might as well finish it up just because. I don't know, you never know. She could say, I don't know. I doubt that she would, but I don't know. She could say like, why is it, or why were you interested in me? You know, then boom, just send her this, and then there you go. Other than just being like, huh. So yeah, probably finish that. I got a lot of stuff I gotta do. Anyways, got a bunch of bags at my mom's. I'm staying with her for a little minute while I take my week, 2 weeks off to kind of just not even understand, but just kind of figure out what it is I want to do and all that jazz. Also, but that's just comes with leaving any job. You want to have at least like a week or two where you can kind of just like chill, you know. But yeah, I gotta get boxes, so I gotta go to like. Being honest, I don't really know. I gotta go. I heard go to the post office to get boxes because I would like to put everything in in an actual box other than a bag. So more or less fold clothes, all just all that shit and whatnot, just so it looks better and it's not as crazy. Because I feel like if I had boxes, it would have made it a lot easier, just simply because I could have. Yeah, all I would need is a dolly at that point, and it would have made it so much easier. Literally, other than the bags that I had, that was the only thing I had. Only thing I had for that was a damn laundry basket. That's all I had. It was bad. It was a bad. But yeah. Mm. But yeah, apologies. I didn't talk this much about her before. At least I don't think so. I don't know. But yeah, that's pretty much it. If I think of something else, I'll probably make another video mentioning or talking about whatever it is. But yeah, I just wanted to give an update since I haven't, shit changed from the last video I made, and that video just straight up just didn't get posted for some reason. So I decided, what, let me let me also just let me also what is the word? Make an update, just to see like everything's going on. Since my other one didn't work, didn't post. I thought I'd just basically mention that I made a video yesterday, and it didn't post, this, that, and the other. So there's that. But yeah, I will definitely talk to y'all later. Peace.